We got anybody?
Oh, no.
All right, we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. Start with introducing the staff. Ron, you want to start and we'll go around?
Ron Hayes, District 1.
Candace Blair, District 2.
Mike Twombly, District 1.
Kate Kirk, planner.
Brittany Hayning, Planning Tech.
Everett Neal, Code Compliance.
Austin Hanson, Director of Development.
Okay, at this time, if there's anybody here that wants to speak or make a comment on items not on the agenda, now is your opportunity to do so. If not, we'll move on to agenda additions, deletions, and corrections. Are there any?
I just wanted to point out that we did change Candace over to District 2. I'm not really sure how she got moved back over to District 3, so I will.
It's just like I keep getting thrown in District 3.
I'm not sure.
Fine, you just need to move.
I'm not sure how it's the clerk software, so I will look into that, but we did change it, so I'm not really sure what happened there, but other than that, there's nothing else.
You agree?
Yeah, there was meeting minutes for December 14th.
You got any issues with the minutes?
No.
Have the minutes presented? All in favor of that? Okay, unscheduled item. PLM 23-138/J Young.
So Brittany's going to.
I get to
this one
present
for
it.
you.
Hooray. All right, so today or tonight, we have PLN 23-138 J Young. This is to consider two variances, reducing the required lot size from 35 acres in the A35 zoning district. The subject parcel is currently 23.37 acres and has been zoned A35, which requires a 35 minimum to subdivide. The proposal is for two lot subdivision where neither of the lots are able to meet the minimum acreage. Therefore, both lots require a variance to lot size. The parcel is located on the north side of B Road. Access is existing from B Road by way of a 60-foot common access easement. Tri-County Water is the domestic source for the parcel. The property is located about 2.87 miles southerly of the city of Delta. Again, the property has been zoned A35. As you can see, the parcel abuts an area of A5 to the south with a portion of A5 and A20 to the west. To the north and east of the parcel, the zoning is A35 with acres ranging from 116 acres to 3 acres. Most of the surrounding properties consist of larger irrigated ag areas. This is the site plan for the proposal split. Lot 1 consists mostly of irrigated ag with a small portion of unirrigated ag along the east boundary line of the property. This area is proposed as a future residential site for Lot 1, which is outlined in green and labeled as the building site. So right in here. Access for Lot 1 is proposed off of B Road along the west boundary of Lot 2. Access is existing for Lot 2 from B Road through a 60-foot wide common access easement, which has established through the replat of the parcel and the adjoining property to the east, which were both part of the Geisbrecht. What, how's it? Oh, there you go. Minor sub, thank you for that. Okay, records indicate that access permit have not been issued. Access will be reviewed by the county engineering through the subdivision process for each lot if the variance is approved. So this is the required findings. Lot 1 will be developed with a single-family residence with ag use continued as is. Lot 2 is an established lot with a residential or with a residence and all utilities installed and will remain a small portion of irrigated ag. As such, there will be no disturbance to any of the existing ag land or wildlife habitat, and both lots meet all other criteria. Staff recommendation staff recommending conditions. The staff recommend conditions include, number 1, prior to accepting the final plat, the applicant shall provide proof of adequate domestic water supply for lot 1, tap and meter. Said proof shall be submitted to the planning department. 2, access shall be constructed to county road standards and accepted by the county engineer prior to accepting / recording the final plat. 3, the final plat shall be annotated as such that no further subdivision of either lot created by this subsection is allowed unless the properties are rezoned. The final plat shall include easements for any utility / access that encumbers the subject property or crosses another property. Recommendations. With that, staff recommends that your board considers the required variance criteria and finding as they apply to PLN 23-138 J Young and approve, conditionally approve, or deny lot size variance to subdivide a 23.37 acre parcel into 2 lots in the A35 zoning designation located on the north side of B Road, and authorize the director to prepare a resolution reflecting your board's decision. And that concludes my presentation.
Questions for staff before we move on to the applicant? Would the applicants like to add to the presentation, or are you good with that?
If you guys had a chance to read what I wrote about the reason we're doing it, is that correct?
Yes.
It's pretty self-explanatory.
Sir, would you please come up to the mic so that we can,
Okay.
they can hear you and have your report?
All right.
Thank you. State your name and address.
James Young, Jim Young, 18213 B Road, Delta, Colorado.
Thank you.
What was I at? Anyway, you guys have read what I wrote about the reason we're doing things. Basically, what we're doing, it's my daughter, would like to expand, give bigger place. We got issues with stairs. I mean, as we get older, we're gonna have issues with stairs. That's a 50-story house, and it's harder and harder for us to travel up and down. So we're thinking, man, we gotta downsize, and she wants to upsize. So basically, that's what we're trying to do, is just carve out a piece there for her, and then keep all the rest of the agricultural land is gonna be intact. And then previously, I had a business called Mountain Fuel Wood, and we used that ground back there. I don't know if you can see it, it's right back there, yeah. Storing, processing wood, logs, things like that. Anyway, that's all going away. And we thought that might be a good place to put a smaller dwelling for my wife and I, you know, without any stairs. And that way, as we continue to age, my daughter will be able to help us out, you know, later on. I said, send us to nursing home or something like that. Assisted living, that's describes what I'm talking about better, but so that's the whole thing in a nutshell.
That parcel that you're proposing for your building site, is that irrigable land?
Is it here?
Is it irrigated?
Irrigated?
Right here.
You
no.
farm it?
No,
Nope.
Okay.
There's, that's the least, it's got a lot of rocks and stuff in it like
Sure.
that. And it's not.
It'd be fun to dig.
Row of trees right there too, it's like.
Yeah, we'll put a row of trees there.
Everything to the west is farm.
Yep.
Okay,
It's all farm. All of it.
very good.
Anything else?
That should do it.
Thank you for
Thank
your
you.
time.
Yep.
Is there anybody else here that would like to speak for or against the application? Not, we'll go on to deliberation, I guess.
No,
Issues.
not at all.
Your motion? Okay, I would make a motion to approve PLN 23-138 J Young under staff recommendations, with staff recommendations, excuse me.
Okay, motion's been made.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carries. Thank you, folks.
Thank you very much.
You'll get a letter from either myself or Kate explaining what happens next.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks, guys. Have a good night.
evening.
Good night.
Take care. Record time. Almost. No, stop in terms of the-
Is there- Where are you?
That's Dale
He works in the.
observing.
Board request and referrals. Anybody got anything? I guess, under comments then, I mentioned at the last meeting, I was gonna try to set up a meeting with the commissioners. Planning, county engineer. And anybody else that we would need to voice some concerns over the road. The issues of the road, we did make a motion and approved it was a private drive, and we added access to the 5 acres for the Stanley project. So it's not the first time something like that's come before us, but my thought is if there's gonna be 3 or more, we really don't need to. I guess what we need to do is help educate the applicant. They don't need a 1/4 mile of road built to county standards. We don't need
For the
pavement,
private-
we don't,
private,
yeah.
yeah.
Yes. If you look at any of the signs, and I haven't verified this, I've just talked to Ron LaValle about it, but if you drive around Delta County, you see, we have county roads. And the county roads can be public and privately maintained, or public and publicly maintained. Those are your green signs. That's the majority of your roads. Your blue signs. Story, if it's a public road, or it's a private road, privately maintained, you get a different distinguishing. Classification for that road. That's probably what I, to my way of thinking, that would save time and not make an applicant go through all of this stuff in the planning department. And that's one thing we could do to expedite this process. If they come in with an application, if they were told that, you do have another option, it may not work for you, but if you make it a private road, privately maintained, then the county comes back and basically it's to the edge of the right of way. So
Right.
whatever the distance is to the right of way, is what you're gonna be dealing.
And I think that, I'm very familiar with that property, actually, I had sold the other parcel, yeah. And I think there was some ambiguity when he was explaining it too, and he was confused by the whole process as well.
Seems
So,
like it.
yeah, so I definitely think there should be some clarification there from Road and Bridge and the county commissioners. for
Well,
sure.
I think,
Planning.
yeah, we need to, I want to be on the what I would think is the right side of business. I don't want to be agreeing to a motion that's been made.
Correct.
That really is taken off from what our options are.
Yeah.
If it's truly a variance, then we grant a variance, but if we're gonna see this, and what's coming up is I'm gonna start a road. My surveyor and dig person, who's also the stand-in county surveyor right now, he's putting in a road.
Right.
His is off the pavement, mine's off of Oak Creek. They're private roads, privately maintained, mine's gonna have a gate on it. But if it services 3 or more, I haven't asked for it yet, but I wanna make sure that when we ask for a private road, that's what we're going after. This other one is on 1900 road. And it's on a paved road, which is actually going to be, if it's not already, it's gonna be a collector, I believe. 1900 road is proposed to have. If they ever connect the dots, I think the county is missing one piece of property. But they would have the right of way then to make
Right.
that. But that's a much bigger road. It's a real road. But that's gonna be coming up before us, because if the county says no, there's gonna be some people that are gonna be saying.
Absolutely.
So if we can come up
I see that.
with, just what's existing for our regulations. And make it clear to us. And clear to, the planning department. That might be a real nice thing to clarify, because a lot of people that sit on the planning commission. They don't have a clue about some of those little details in that whole process. And that's kind of what I want to clarify. And the other issue that I want to bring up is using the state formula to calculate driveways and how the distance between driveways. But we're calculating it at 60 miles an hour. If we can explain to the commissioners, we don't have a county road that's over 45
Right.
miles an hour. If you're gonna calculate it, use the posted speed limit on that road. If it's 35, if it's 45, to go 325 feet between driveways, you could have 4 pieces of property that are all legitimate, real pieces of property and have the adequate frontage, but you don't have 325 feet. It just seems.
I don't know if that was brought up in one of our Board of Adjuster meetings or by
I brought it
the
up
planning.
last
But
meeting.
That's what
That
you,
was the-
that's correct, yeah.
So I haven't been granted a meeting yet. I guess what Robbie told me this week was that, they just kind of looked and said, really, let's talk to him first and then figure out what he's doing. So if there's anything else we can add to it, I'm gonna meet with Don tomorrow
Okay.
and tell him this is a concern. It's such an easy fix, but if you look at what an applicant has to go to get a driveway access, it's nuts. And it not only wastes your time, but it's the county engineer. And as things get busy, we don't need to make life hard on any one department. It's not something, and I understand that we can't give the county engineer the wherewithal to make that decision. you know, we have to have checks and balances and all that, but maybe the map formula that we use.
Tuned in.
Adjusted to address the actual
Yeah.
speed limits, right?
Sure.
So you're talking about the general standard, if I'm gathering, it, you're talking about the road standard, it says it's 300 feet between driveways, if it's so on and so forth. Isn't that a county standard, not so much a state standard?
They use the state.
They use the states.
They use the state.
And also,
numbers.
there hasn't been any traffic surveys since 21.
Well, they've classified the roads, so that's kind of what they're,
Yeah, but they-
that's what we have to go by, but if we classify our road. And we're using the state standard, if what they call a collector. Is 60 or 65 miles an hour, that's not what we call a collector, and we've got a name for every single road that we've got.
Maybe it's, I think with that piece of property that kind of chops it up, it's, you can probably consider it a tertiary road rather than a collector road.
I used to know that,
Yeah.
I just.
Yeah.
So I would
All the
just like
different
to say that as far as the road classifications go, those are actually assigned by the Federal Highway Administration. And then that's pushed down through CDOT to us, so when I was in engineering, I had asked about that. Just because those classifications do not fit our roads and what's actually out there. And to change that is a extremely lengthy process through the federal government. And that was not anything anybody wanted to
Yeah.
mess with.
Well, that, it's. We can use our county commissioners. To make a judgment call on something, then that's what I'm after, is, you know. Do we really need to go through all of this process? Or do we just say, okay, you're gonna get on the list, we can't get you in this month. You're on the top of the list for the next month. And we're gonna address your driveway access issue. You know, 30, 60, 90 days on somebody's project, if they wanna get something started before the snow flies or whatever the issue is. It's just, to me, it's not a reasonable delay. It's just, it adds a whole lot. But again, if anybody's got anything else they'd like to run by the commissioners, at least we could tell them what we'd like to have a meeting about.
You might want to talk to the clerk. Getting on an agenda.
Oh, tomorrow's meeting is just to.
No, it's not, you're not gonna, not. You have to talk, you have to get on the agenda at least a week ahead of time so that it can be public.
Well,
notice.
when I talked to Robbie about this, I said, I don't think it would be a good idea to bring something like this up at a public meeting.
Gotcha.
Maybe a work session.
We're gonna,
You're
if
just
we
want
did it
work
in a work
session.
section,
Yeah.
then you don't have people that were trying to make your lives really miserable. And just, we'll get it out there, see what they wanna do, any action that they might take probably needs to go to a public meeting, if they're gonna make a change.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like throwing your dirty laundry out there, we don't want.
Right.
And I don't think any of us three really need our names out there with, why did you do that? You know, there's. Yeah. So that was the premise there, and Robbie really thought that was a great idea. It's not gonna be. That first meeting won't be a good one. That's it. Department report.
We are moving forward with our public hearing with the new LUC that's scheduled for February 21st. It's public knowledge now. It's gonna be in the newspaper 4 times, 24th, 31st. And 2 more times in February. Yeah, 2 more. It'll be public and in the public newspaper 4 times. It's already running on the local NPR news network. I heard it on my way coming in this morning. So that is out there, and hopefully we'll get some good involvement. The planning department is accepting, public comments basically at this point.
And that's held at the art.
The Delta Family Center, which is the old middle
Yeah.
school. Yep.
Yes. Yep.
And I do know that Delta County Board of Realtors did send it out
Yep.
today in an email format.
What time? 5:30 p.m. If you go to Delta County's website.
Yeah, it's got a running banner.
All over.
And on Facebook, and
Board meetings or?
Yeah.
Advertising?
Or it's gonna be in the Delta County Independent and then whatever newspapers that.
I'll remind you.
He has chosen. It'll be in
Want me to
the-
pick you up?
Is there? Are
That's
they
what I'm
printing
relying on now.
the changes? Is the newspaper gonna cover any of that? It seems like a lot, it's just advertising meeting. If anybody wants
Yeah.
to
We
find
have,
out,
we have a physical copy of the proposed LUC for our office. If people want to look at it, it's also available on the website and on the planning department under the use code links.
that covers just the changes or is that the whole?
If you want to see the red line, you're gonna have to ask for it. We had those removed from the website just to be more clear on what's there. So there is the current 21 version, and then there's the proposed 24 version. If anybody needs to see additional details, they can come to the planning department. We're more than happy to go through that.
So funnel all your questions that you get from all the.
That's right. Yeah, you should all go to email at the planning department, or they can come and physically submit to us also.
Seem to get quizzed at the lumberyard.
We're going to the lumberyard.
Yeah.
They come into the office. Can I stop going to my office? No, it's good that the public's informed and, watching this.
That's all. That's all.
Nick, that's it for the department report, nothing else? All right, well, given that there's no pizza, I think we can adjourn the meeting.
You guys first.